So I was watching a podcast on YouTube today. It was with Cody Sanchez. She like invests in companies, really good brand, with the female power. So definitely cool. And then she was talking to Jen Gottlieb. I believe it was her podcast. But Cody said something that I made me think about you for real. She said, today is the easiest time ever in the world to start a business, but the hardest time in the world to be profitable. So she said, today is the easiest time in the world to start a business, but the hardest time in the world to be profitable in your business. And I thought about you immediately because you got to get traffic, but you have to do it in a cost-effective way. And you have people like myself back in the past who would be like, you got to spend more money, which is true depending on the situation. But more importantly, you have to run profitable ads. And I've never met anyone do it as well as you. Like when you sent me that like screenshot of like what you were doing, like with your process. So I just wanted to chat with you about like how you came up with that and like how you have it so dialed in and are so profitable in a day and age where people are losing money with ads.
Yeah. So, back whenever I first started in, 2018, I was running ads for, how to launch television shows with these video view campaigns. And so we were launching all of these promos and all of these television markets, telling people what was coming up on the show. And I was doing it, with these $5 ads. And so I was like, I wonder if we can take that same concept and, create these micro content videos. We would do them 3 to 5 minutes long and seeing if I could catch a part of the audience that no one else was targeting. And so as I learned more about the way that Facebook optimizes and the way that I learned how the online marketing space is, right? Because I wasn't in the online marketing space, I was in television. And so these concepts of webinars and sales pages, that was like an all new concept to me. And so to me, I was like, why aren't people using the video view objective, right? And so I was like, what if we could put all of these pieces of content in front of the audiences that all of these marketers are fighting over, but do it in a way that was more budget friendly? Because when I first started, I still had a full-time job. And so all of these people were spending thousands and thousands of dollars where I was used to spending, $5 a day per these video view campaigns. And so the more that I learned how the Facebook machine optimizes, I had this idea. I first learned of this guy named Russell Brunson. I know we laugh at that now because he's so well known, but outside of the internet marketing space, no one really knows who he is. And so everyone was fighting for his audience. I remember Amy Porterfield. And I just had this light bulb moment one day where I was like, well, all of these marketers are wanting to do these conversion campaigns because they want this specific thing to happen using ads. They want people to buy, they want people to do these things. I was like, why aren't people using the video view objective? And can I utilize that to tap into, some audiences that some of these other experts aren't using? Because, I've learned over time by being in the internet marketing space that all of the marketers want that 2 to 3% of people who are ready to buy right now. And so I was like, well, what if I took the concept of making these 3 to 5 minute videos and putting them in the ads manager as a video view campaign? Because the way that Facebook optimizes is, well, if people are wanting conversions, Facebook's only going to show it in front of Russell's audiences who are likely to convert. I know that the people likely to convert are only a 2 to 3% of people, but if I can put the right type of content together that's going to attract the ideal client, but they might not be ready to buy right now, but someday they're going to be ready to buy, right? And so that was my idea behind these 3 to 5 minute videos that we run to cold traffic. And so what I found was I am targeting Russell Brunson's audience, but for pennies on the dollar, because Facebook optimizes conversion campaigns at a much higher price because everyone's fighting for that same audience, where I was tapping into a cheaper audience that over time would be ready to buy. So think about this. A lot of the marketers who are doing the conversion campaigns, they're constantly having to refresh creatives, constantly having to change up their stuff because that 2 to 3% of audience, they have to keep changing it in order to only reach those people ready to buy now. Where I feel like doing the video view campaign, it's consistently running over time. And so basically it's priming me almost like a conveyor belt, delivering me people who are ready to buy 100% of the time. Does that make sense?
Oh, 100%. So I wanted to talk to you about this because like when you sent me the screenshot, I'm looking at it now. Like the fact that people might hear that and they go, well, does this mean she's not running conversion campaigns? Clearly you are. You're just running them to the right audience and you're getting leads. Now, I'm sorry, take that back. You're getting buyers, purchases for less than what I get leads for right now. Right now, the difference is, well, from what I get leads for in cold audiences. And I sit back, and a lot of times when you run ads to your warm audience, right, you typically see lower budget, but people are struggling right now because of all the iOS updates. And like your strategy actually is like bulletproof against that. So I want to like dive in more into that. I want you to just talk to me about that part, like, because you're not going to go broke running. I mean, you've made millions. And I mean, what do you think you've spent total on ads?
Total on ads, I have not even spent 150,000, and we just passed like a little over 3 million. When we made the first million, it was only at like 36,800 or something like that. And so it is a very budget friendly strategy in that case, because you don't necessarily have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars each month, because like I said, video view campaigns are, pennies on the dollar of what people are spending for the other stuff.
But where I was getting at with the question is, like, you've gotten rid of cold traffic conversion ads altogether. And we would have these conversations all the time. Not saying that they're bad. I'm sure you'll probably run some in the future. But like the fact that you had the balls to do that and the numbers that you're seeing, like, talk to me about that, like the strategy. Because like it's not like, so some people are going to hear this and they're going to be like, oh, make us do a video view ad and retarget them. Like
Right.
what you're good at and why I think we work well together is like, it's not what you say, it's how you say it, right? So like what to say in the video view ad that builds the right audience. And then you know how to structure the ads correctly to get those audiences to buy. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah,
Like how
absolutely. And it's funny because I always like reference my television background, because honestly, that is where like all of these concepts came from. Because back in the day, my very first job, they always give the shittiest job to the newbie, right? It was getting people to watch the 11 p.m. news, and so I had to get really good at grabbing people's attention, but keeping it through a 3-minute commercial break, right? And so over time, I read Eugene Schwartz's book Breakthrough Advertising back in 2002 in order to help me like do this. And I came up with this formula: headline, promise of value. People think that, oh, this is like, something Laurel came up with to get people to watch, internet videos. But actually it was a formula that I came up to get people to watch the news. And so a major mistake that I see so many people make is they see the video view campaign, but what they're not doing is they're not strategically writing the copy to be repelling as much as it is attracting. Right. And so what ends up happening is a lot of people build these video view audiences with people who aren't ever going to buy from them. And, I saw this one guru teaching this strategy where it's like, hey, just take other people's videos and put them out there on your ad account, and then you can use the video view audiences of these viral videos. And I'm like, yeah, that's going to get you a lot of views, but that's not necessarily going to get the right people. And so being able to identify who is my ideal client while repelling the people who aren't is not an easy thing to do, but that's something that I've had over 20 years of practice doing.
well, the proof is, 183 purchases on a recurring product every single month at an average of $7, a little over $7. Purchases, buyers.
Yeah.
From the strategy.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. That's insane.
Yeah.
Building a recurring business where you're getting a buyer for under $8. I mean, people are getting leads today for 20, $25 because the average cost per click, what is it, like almost $2 now? $2.50?
In some niches as high as 7 or 8.
Yeah. So you're getting buyers for what some people are paying for clicks.
Yep.
It's crazy. So
yeah.
Tell me, like, okay, so knowing you talk about knowing what to say, like this hook. Can you give us an example of like a hook of like what you mean by like something that would call out the right audience? Like what kind of audience would someone like myself want to build? Like how could I do that?
Absolutely. So I'll give you an example. So inside my Lean on Laurel program, which is my upper program, I mostly target people who are running book a call funnels, right? So if I want to do a piece of video content that would attract people who are running, book a call funnels, book a call funnels are usually things, like challenges or webinars, VSLs, basically funnels that will lead to someone booking a call. And so if I wanted to get a person who's doing that type of funnels attention, I would probably say, if you need to book more calls this week, don't use this funnel. Use this $5 ad strategy instead. Here, let me actually show you the difference, because a lot of people, the way that they're doing content, they would say, this $5 ad scored me an extra $30,000 this week. But what is the difference, right? Because the second one is talking about a $5 ad making some type of income. That's going to attract anyone who's doing ads. I don't want to attract anyone who's doing ads. I want to attract my ideal client who is running a book a call funnel. And so that's why the first one might get me less views, but it's going to get me a higher quality person watching that video, and my ideal client who might not be ready to work with me now, but over time, as I feed them more pieces of content, it's going to get them. I think of each video ad as breadcrumbs, right? They might not buy the first time, they might not reach out to me the first time they see my video content, but they're going to start seeing me over and over again, because I use $5 ads off the top and then $2 ads retargeting the people who've watched the top of funnel video content. And so these $2 ads are being shown to all of the people who watched the cold traffic videos. And so now I'm getting them like little breadcrumbs into actually working with me. And that's where I run the conversion ads for $2 a day. So my conversion ads are being shown in front of the people who are watching these 3 to 5 minute videos, at least 25%. Like, a lot of times people like to use through plays. I don't like to use through plays, because if someone is just on their phone and they lift up to talk to someone and the video just continues to play, I don't really consider that person really engaged. I want someone who purposefully hit the play button on my video and sat there engaged and watched for a certain period of time, because 25% of a 5-minute video, that is some significant watch time these days.
That's awesome. And are you showing people like just that in itself, like what to say in the level 1 ad, and then also like how to structure the conversion ads in level 2? Because, some people probably could hear what we're talking about and go out there and try to do it. And let's say they don't say the right thing, they're attracting the wrong audience, or don't structure the conversion ad the right way. I think they got what you're saying just from that. Like, are you showing them in Lean on Laurel?
So I'm not only showing them, like, I literally, like, they get Voxer access. I know you're going to laugh at me, because but I literally give them Voxer access in that program. And so let's say you were stuck on creating content, right? You would just literally Voxer me and say, hey, Laurel, I want to promote eboov. And, I'm not getting, people aren't watching my video at least 50% of the time. Can you help me brainstorm a couple of hooks? I want to show them how to put up their level 2 ads. These are the ads that are retargeting people back to, your landing page in your eboov world. Can you help me with hooks? And I would say, hey, yeah, like, give me 5 minutes and I'll give you a couple of hooks, and I'll even give you the script on what to say. And so I'm literally voicing the stuff back, like, in real time.
Wait, hold up, time out. Foul, personal foul. So you're telling me if I'm in your program, I could just Voxer you and you'll literally message me back?
I will not only message you back, but I'll actually almost like pretty much in my head write the script and just like give it to you and say, here, go say this.
So I could get started, and basically you're going to tell me what to say. I can just go make that as my level 1, and then you'll show me, I'm assuming in the program, what to do and how to structure all this.
Actually, I even have your ad account inside my business manager, so that, like, let's say you even mess up or you don't know where to go, you could literally Voxer me and say, Laurel, I got stuck setting up that power content, and I would literally be like, hey, give me 5 minutes. I'm going to go in your ad account right now, and I'm just going to place it for you. Can you send me the link to that video, and I'll upload it and place it for you?
That's like cheating.
It is kind of like cheating.
There's nobody going to do that. No one in our space is going to do what you're doing.
It's fun though for me. It's fun for me. It kind of like bridges the gap, right? Because, I love doing ads for people, but, you know, I can only do so much of that a day. This is actually really fun because I wanted to create a program where I could almost like pretty much tag team the stuff with students, right? I don't want to do the stuff for them, but sometimes it's appropriate for me to just jump in the driver's seat, shoot them a Loom video explaining why I did something so they can literally get results as they're learning, because it can get them a faster result, right? Because I'm not going to make a student, like if they're stuck on how to launch it, I'm not going to just let them sit there on their hands and wait until the next quote group coaching call. I literally want to get in the ads manager, help them get over that hump so that like by the time that the group coaching call comes around, we could actually like take a look at the data and write more stuff to fix whatever went wrong.
So,
because let's face it, things are going to go wrong. Nothing ever goes right the first time we launch.
and that leads me to my next question. So okay, so what's cool, by the way, if I couldn't call you and jump on a Zoom with you, I'd be like, there's not a price point I wouldn't pay for that access, especially knowing all the changes that are happening with ads and knowing how people are literally going broke running ads because they don't know what they're doing, not because the ads don't work. So the question I have for you, so now obviously with the program, people are going to know what to say. They're going to get traffic in a cost-effective way. But what about the most important thing, like what they're saying on the video once the person lands? Are you doing anything on that with them, like with the messaging on the actual VSL or webinar? Are you looking at that for them too? So now you get the whole package. Like, how's that work?
Actually, I had a student who's using eboov come to me with the script template, because we use your script template, by the way, inside Lean on Laurel. Hopefully that's okay. But I actually teach my students your VSL framework. And so the other day I had a student who is actually in another country and he's looking to make a breakthrough in the American market. And so he had actually written out his VSL and he sent it to me, and I literally just went in with a Google Documents, because I have all my students send all of the Google Documents. And I literally, because I've been learning so much from you and Sunny from, how to structure and write, really cool VSL hooks and the way that you have it structured. I literally just went in there and I like just changed it for him. And I was like, here you go. Just go shoot this video exactly like that.
Cheat code. It's straight up as like a cheat code. Because, like making money is really, it comes down to how many offers you make. And the part that makes it unfair is if you're saying the right things on all levels, like you're talking about on before they even get to the VSL, and then you're saying the right thing there, and you're doing it in a cost-effective way, that's straight up cheating. In the digital marketing world, and this is the difference between the person that, digital marketing doesn't work, or it's a scam, or ads don't work, to like some of your best students. What are some of the results like people are getting like inside?
Yeah. Absolutely. So I had a student who had actually a VSL. She was running stuff to, as you call a brick wall page, but we won't, hold that against her. And so basically she came into the program and she wasn't getting enough people to hit play on that VSL. And she was about to literally change all of her ads. And I was like, no. I was like, I went into her ad account and I was like, no, your ads are fine. What's the problem is the headline above your VSL isn't aligned with what you're actually saying. And there's all these buttons, because like she had a header with a whole bunch of places that people could click off. And so immediately we were able to fix the headline that was above her VSL that got her play. Like her play rate was in the 40s. And I think, like you and I think we always talk about this. We want it to be more 90%, 95. And that has a lot to do with that headline at the top and, people having clickable buttons, because we never want people to click off anywhere. And we were able to literally fix her VSL by just doing that. And she was about to literally redo her ads because she didn't know what to actually look at. And so she was able to get her first 2 booked calls ever. And she had spent thousands of dollars. And within just a couple of days of coming into the program, we were able to, help her get at least 2 booked calls. I had another person who came in with a webinar. They were stuck between, people were watching the webinar, but they weren't actually booking the call. And so I showed him a simple $5 Reels ad that we were able to launch just to the leads of the people that had come through. And we were able to recover 42 calls with a $5 ad because of the messenger kind of conversation. So there's like a little strategy. I don't want to get too much into it, but
At the level
because
3, huh?
that it generates conversations that we're able to bring into Messenger and just pull them to
Right.
the bottom of the funnel. And so there's these little things that are so simple that yet so many people don't think to do. And, you know, of course, that's going to like shoot that ROAS way up. And so there's all of these little tricks that these, you know, $5, $2 ads could actually plug all the holes of the funnel. And that's essentially what we do in Lean on Laurel more so, is plug the holes of all of these people's funnels, because I actually learned this from you, right? The biggest hole is once people hit that brick wall page, that's a huge percentage of their audience that's already gone. And so we've got some $5 ads to catch that. The second big black hole is right after they opt in. We've got a 60-second Reels video that we run for $5 that fixes that. And then we've got an entire $2 ad sequence that plugs the hole between people watching the webinar and actually filling out the application. And so the main thing that, you know, we do is literally essentially use content to pull people back up into the funnel. I don't know why more people don't figure that stuff out, because it's such, to me,
They
it's
don't have
just like
people
a
like you.
no-brainer strategy.
They don't have people like you to help them. And I mean, like I said, you should be charged. This is like $25,000, $50,000, like in my opinion, like program. And I'm not just saying that, like the amount of money people waste trying to figure out things that they could just go to the source and find a mentor that they can jump on a Voxer call and call if they're struggling. Like I don't think people get it. And a lot of it is stubborn. I think sometimes people are just afraid to ask for help. So I'm definitely gonna let people know in our community about it, because this is solving such a huge problem. I think that's why we work well together. We really do see ads similar. I think what you've helped me out with is the you know, being patient and just really focusing, like you said in the beginning, on what to say from the very beginning. And the process. Your process is just playing the long game. So that's awesome. So what are you going to do to get people in? Like, what can they do to get started? Like, how are you going to?
Yeah. So, you know, if someone's watching this video, this button should have already popped up by now. If not, boop, we'll pop it up right there.
So Laurel's going to be humble, but here's the deal. I mean, look, I'm a senior citizen in digital marketing. That means I've been running ads before Facebook had an ad platform. And, you know, I've seen all the gurus come and go. And Laurel, I mean, and I'm telling you from a numbers perspective and a strategic perspective, like she's the best. Like when it comes to running ads that can scale in an affordable way so your business is profitable, you want to fill out an application and get started with Laurel. If you want to struggle, okay, if you want to, you know, have iOS updates destroy your whole ad campaign like it did for a lot of marketers who didn't learn from Laurel in the beginning, who came to her scared out of their mind after that happened, then keep doing what you're doing. But if you want somebody that really cares about your business, that understands it, that's practicing what she preaches, that still is not afraid to learn. Like I call Laurel, she's at a mastermind every other week, still getting knowledge. That's the kind of person you want to work with. So if you guys got value from this, I highly advise you clicking on that button or completing the application.